Thank you. Thank you. It's wonderful to be here with all of you. As that mysterious voice from wherever it was just told you, I'm Vicki Kennedy. And it's good to be here with so many old friends and with so many new friends, too. I was a member of the Brady Center Board for 10 years. And I was a member of the dinner committee for this annual dinner for many years before that. So this cause is one I'm passionate about and one I've been involved in for a long time. But I retired from the Brady board last year because of term limits. Term limits. They can be a good thing. I do think it's good to have fresh blood on the board. I also think it's very good when it comes to this President of the United States to have term limits. Because I know that when his term ends in January, the NRA will no longer be living in the White House. But I'm also happy and thankful that we don't have term limits in the Congress. Because if there were term limits in the Congress, we wouldn't have Congressman Jim Moran, who is here today. And there he is, I love Jim Moran. And you see, Teddy thought I was going to mention him first. And we wouldn't have Teddy. And I am so thankful that we have Teddy. It really is a pleasure to be here with all of you tonight. I'd like to extend a very special welcome to the members of the Virginia Tech family who have joined with us and who have really inspired us with their example of never giving up in the fight to make our country a safer place. It's far too easy, as too many people in this room know, for dangerous people to get dangerous guns in this country. There's a myth that we have too many gun laws in this country. We don't. We have very few, and those that we do have are weak. We have they have loopholes. Loopholes that are so big you can drive a Mack truck through them, and criminals and gun traffickers and the mentally ill can all too easily get guns. The result is that 32 people are murdered each day by guns, the same number as were killed at Virginia Tech last year. We can do better as a nation. My heroes, Sarah and Jim Brady, and I have to say how much we miss Sarah tonight. She's been ill. We send her our love. I know she was hoping to be here tonight. But my heroes, Sarah and Jim Brady, have been in this fight for the long haul. My husband, Ted, and Jim Moran have been in it for the long haul. All of us here are in it for the long haul. And make no mistake about it, it is the long haul. There's a story about two hunters who were after moose in Alaska. They were hunting in such a remote section of Alaska that they had to be flown in by an airplane, in a very small plane, and the pilot said to them, "Be sure you just bag one moose, because I can't take the weight of two moose when I pick you up. Got it? One moose." Hi. So they said, "Okay, got it." When he came back a couple of days later, there they were, two hunters, two moose. He said, "I told you, you've got to just have one moose. I can't take you back." They said, "No, we can do this. We did it last year. You strap one moose on this wing, the other moose on that wing, taxi out, and we'll go." And the pilot said, "Are you really sure?" He said, "Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure. We can do this." So they said, "Okay, here we go. Strap one moose here, one moose there." And he starts to taxi off, and he got up a little way, and boom, he crashed down into a tree and bumped their head. They were knocked out for a little while, and the hunters came to, and one of them said, "Where are we? How'd we do?" And the guy said, "We got about 10 yards farther than last year." He goes, "Good, we made progress." And you know, it's sort of like the gun control movement, you know? You get about 10 yards farther than last year, and you made progress. And pretty soon, you know, a lot of times we've got that moose strapped here and that moose strapped there, but, you know, we get there, and pretty soon we're going to get to that goal, 10 yards, 10 yards, 10 yards, and we're finally going to have gun laws that make sense in this country. And thanks to all of you, I really believe we're going to get there. So thank you, thank you, thank you. But, you know, progress takes courage. And we have wonderful examples of courage in this room tonight. The most incomprehensible courage of gun violence victims living with their pain, who take that courage to transform the world, to make it safer for all of us, for our schools, for our workplaces, for our communities. We have the courage of people like Colonel Massengill, who led the Virginia Tech review panel and had the courage to make some unpopular recommendations about gun policies. We have the courage of Abby Spangler, who with a group of 32 women in Alexandria had the courage to lay down in protest to express outrage over the Virginia Tech tragedy, and now that protest has spread like wildfire throughout the country. We will tell those stories of courage tonight and how they led to a victory for sensible gun laws, and how that courage continues, to paraphrase Robert Kennedy, to send tiny ripples of hope that will build a current to knock down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance. It is my special privilege now to introduce Paul Helmke, the president of the Brady Center to Prevent Gun Violence, and how wonderful it is to be with a president I can agree with, and a Republican to boot. Paul has been at the helm of the Brady organization since July 2006. He came to us from Fort Wayne, Indiana, where he was a 3-term Republican mayor and then a practicing attorney. He was a leader in gun violence prevention in his city and helped Jim and Sarah lobby for the Brady bill in the early 1990s. He's a skillful and tireless leader for this organization, constantly speaking out for common sense solutions to gun violence. I've never been prouder of this organization than watching Paul on television in interviews in these last 2 years. Forceful yet respectful, passionate yet level-headed, an advocate who still listens to the other side. We're proud to have him as our president. We're lucky to have him as the leader of our movement. Please welcome Paul Helmke. Is wow. Thank you so much, Abby. You are really an inspiration to all of us, and you are living proof that one person really can make a difference. Thank you. You are one amazing woman. Another amazing woman here with us tonight is Pat Craig. She's here with her sister, Letiti Clark. Pat has lost 2 nephews to gun violence in the last year. One last September, just 5 months after she lost her nephew, Letiti's son, Ryan Clark, at Virginia Tech. Ryan was a triple major in psychology, biology, and English. In the summers, he worked at Camp Big Heart for disabled children. He was the resident advisor in the West Ambler dorm at Virginia Tech when he heard shots and ran to help. Ryan was known for that, always helping. And he obviously got his big heart from his mother and from his aunt. In October, Ryan's mother came to Washington from Georgia to be with Sarah Brady and the Virginia Tech families to lobby Congress for the National Instant Check System Improvement Act. In January, Pat came to Capitol Hill and spoke at a press conference with Senator Jack Reed and Senator Frank Lautenberg, urging Congress to close the gun show loophole. Pat knows that this country can do more, much more, to protect children from gun violence. And that's why she's here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pat Craig.